Oh yeah, yeah, that's good.
Good. Okay. Okay. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay. So what got you on the path to gigging green? I mean, why did you? What made you think of doing that, and why do you do it? What got you started on it?
What got me started? I think I've always been a little bit aware of consumption. Like I've never been like an eco-Nazi or something like that. But I was raised in the kind of family that, we didn't really like splurge a lot. We didn't buy a lot of useless things. We're kind of aware of the things that we consume, And I think having like I always had a little bit of that mentality. And when it came time to do touring, I thought about the fact that, driving for 8,000 miles involves a lot of gallons of gas. And you got to realize, gallon of gas, like it has like a bit of an impact. So that got me started to thinking about that, about, when I'm flying, when I'm driving, that kind of thing. Like, what does it actually mean? It still means that I'm planning to tour in the way that I can, but I'm trying to find kind of the most intelligent way to do it, a way where I'm kind of mindful of what it actually means and what impact it actually has, be it environmental or financial or what have you.
I think a lot of people don't realize that there's a big gray area. I think they tend to believe that you're either all green or you're not. But I think there's this huge gap in between of people who are trying to do the best they can. I mean, sometimes you can't help not to fly, you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to fly, so you have to make adjustments where you can. Yeah. Specifically, what have you done to green up how you gig specifically?
Well, a lot of it is just when I do have to drive, trying to minimize the amount of driving that I do. If I plan a tour, what I really want to do is have it be a circle, so I'm not going over the same place twice. If a gig comes along and it's off that circle, I'm going to make sure that it's really worth it before I go and drive 4 hours just for the fun of it. I'm going to think about that part of it. And then in terms of the stuff that I carry, what I do instead of flying all over the place and flying a bunch of gear all over the place, all this crap, I've got some stuff on the East Coast, some stuff on the West Coast. I leave stuff there so I can fly with very, very little and then get going again with the small gear that I have.
That's awesome. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, it makes financial sense too now with airlines charging for your baggage. Kind of makes sense. It's like, what? Even though you could physically carry it, you don't want to pay your extra $25 or whatever per flight.
I mean, it's pretty easy for a solo musician like you to gig a little more greener.
Yeah.
Do you think the same can be done for bands that have more members or people that have more equipment, even up to people who do major national tours the Radioheads and the bands like that? Do you think it's possible for them to green up their act at all, or is it just easier for solo musicians to do?
No, I think it's definitely possible. I think, like you're saying, there's a gray area, and also with there being a gray area, I think it's also a continuum from being, completely walking lightly on the earth, not using any electricity or fossil fuels during the day, to the other extreme. There's always small things you can do. And if you have 8 people in your band and you have 4 crew and whatever else, okay, it's a dozen people have to get around. You can still find a better way to do that. You can, instead of having 2 massive tour buses, maybe you can consolidate to a van and a bus or that kind of thing. Start to think that way, what can we do that uses just a little bit less? It's going to be a bit more efficient, even if you need to think of it in terms of the financial impact. Almost always your green choices, sometimes they may cost more at first, but they always will mean using less. That means paying less. So I think that's applicable all the way up to huge acts.
I think I found that when trying to get the band that I work with, Telebox, we were originally looking at cheaper ways in which to travel, and they often translated into the greener way to travel. Mm-hmm. So I think it really is a lot cheaper in my mind. So if there's any musicians or somebody that maybe owns a venue that's watching this, what can you tell them as far as the benefits of going green as far as gigging and how you make music?
I think almost always, like I was saying, that you end up saving money. You end up saving money. You end up, I think, being happy in your travel because you're not carting around big things, driving extra distances, paying extra money for airfare, that kind of thing. And also it's just it's just nice to be able to feel good about what you're doing and not think, you know, it's awesome to tour, but I realize that, you know, no matter how many what do you call them, carbon offsets I might buy,
Right.
You know, I'm still
crap.
Yeah, I'm still like one dude driving around a single person passenger car for a month. You know, that's still kind of a big deal. But it feels a lot better to be like, you know what, I'm doing my small thing. And even if that small thing is just talking about it, to the point that other people start to be aware of it as well. Think, oh, you know what, maybe I can like travel like a little bit lighter. Instead of the maxi van, maybe we can do a minivan, that kind of thing. I think that consciousness is as valuable as doing the small things that you can do yourself.
Nice, well put. I think we're going to end that right here.
Right on.
Thanks, Daryl.
Indeed. Yeah. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, what's your name?
Daryl Sean.
What are you doing tonight?
I am playing my ass off